Hey, welcome back to another episode of Third Coast Reptile. I know it's been a while since our last video. We've got some new faces here and some changes going on in the reptile room, so let's get started. Alright, so we're in the reptile room here. As you notice in the back, there's a new enclosure back there, and that's part of the new faces that we have here in the reptile room. A little while ago, I had somebody reach out to me. They moved to Michigan from out of state, and they had some reptiles that they could no longer take care of, which, you know, it happens. It's something that inevitably it's going to happen to some people, and hopefully there's people like myself that are able to take in those reptiles and take the best precautions to make sure that they're okay. We're going to go over some of that stuff while I introduce you to these guys. She gave me 2 tortoises and a box turtle, and I've always wanted to have a special place for a box turtle here in my reptile room. The 2 tortoises are redfoots. One specifically is a cherry head that has some cool marbling to it. You'll see that guy too. So when somebody says that they have a reptile they would like to rehome, there's a lot of things to consider when going into these sort of transactions. For instance, you got to know where you're going to meet up. Is it going to be at their house? Is it going to be at a public place? What sort of supplies do they have to offer with the animal? And the general health of the animal is probably the most important thing to consider, I guess, when you're looking for a rescue, which is a great way to go. Captive bred is awesome, and unfortunately, on the tail end of that, in the reptile hobby, you get people that, you know, living situations change, they find out it's overwhelming, the size of the animal is too big for their house, whatever the case may be. Rehoming is a common occurrence, and it's a good practice to be able to take on an animal that is a rescue versus just a hatchling. Wow, got that out. Anyway, let's get started here with the first one, which is the Florida box turtle. So we're going to hop in the enclosure, and I guarantee as soon as I do, Benny and Stella, who are right down here, are going to pay attention to my shoes because they like to eat my shoelaces. So over here, what we have is a Florida box turtle, and he is hiding underneath the waterfall right now. Let's get you a better shot. There he is. He is get you the best angle right in there. He is a sub-adult, not quite full grown, but he doesn't have much more growing to do, which is why I have him in this 50-gallon enclosure, this Rubbermaid container. And I put in this really cool like water feature here and this land combo. And it was a clever way to do it. It's not very complicated. what I did is I have the Rubbermaid enclosure under here. I put this liner in with a 2x6 that goes across this way. And that creates a divide between the soil side and the water feature. Now remember, these guys like both sides of this. They like to be able to swim in the water like she's doing now, and they like to lay on land. So they're not fully aquatic, they're semi-aquatic. So you gotta give them best of both worlds, and I think like a 60-40 ratio like this is the best way to go. This whole setup was like 150 bucks to build. I'm pretty happy with the way it came out. And so that's the first guy here. That is the box turtle. Now Hank had to make a sacrifice with his enclosure here. As you can tell, he has a divider. And the reason why we have a divider is because we have two. I don't know where they're at right now. I'll have to find them. Oh, there's one. There's one in the back there. That is the marble cherry head there. And, oh, put the light. I think, yep, there's the other redfoot. He's hanging out there. Again, these are sub-adults. And they're very healthy. As far as a rescue is concerned, these are hardly rescues. These are just really change of ownership here. As far as caretaking is concerned, these guys are in really great shape. They have good weight to them. Their eyes and nose are relatively clear. I don't see any real issues with them. They are in quarantine for the required time, which is about a week, and that's just for safety precaution to make sure that they're okay before introducing them into population. Now my plans here, oh, get up, I'm old. The plans here is to remove the divider and kind of have everybody together all in one enclosure here, and then watch for battling, if there's any battling going on between the males, because I believe that guy is a male and Hank is a male. And if there is battling going on, which may or may not happen, I will separate them. And that is the one thing to consider. Another thing to consider when you take on a rescue, do you have adamant room for them? Thanks, Hank. Giving me the little close-up there. Hank's doing well. He's a little mad about his reduced enclosure size for now. Sorry, Hank. A little small sacrifice. So those are the new guys that I have here in the reptile room. They're hanging out here. They're doing okay. I've had them for a couple days now. Everybody seems to be fine, happy, no issues. Again, you want to keep an eye out for like triggers. You know, how long have they had the animal? What kind of conditions the animal in? Do you have space for them? And then also you have to quarantine those animals to ensure that their safety is in the utmost importance, along with the reptiles you have in your room. You want to make sure that your other animals don't get some sort of viral thing from the new tenants, right, of your reptile room. Also, it wouldn't hurt to take those new guys to the reptile vet and kind of get them a checkup to see if they have any issues or anything with their stool, like stool samples. All sorts of good things there that can be discovered quickly and hopefully like proactively if need be. So those are the things I would kind of like roll through your head as a checklist if you are considering doing a rescue, which is a very noble and great way to go. A lot of rescue facilities do that work for you, and that is kind of justifying the fees that they have. I know you're kind of like, well, you got this animal for free. Well, true, they got the animal for free, but the vet bill wasn't free. The space that they're using isn't free. The food isn't free. So the rehoming fees that these rescues have are very justified, right? They're a nonprofit most of the time, and they're doing this sort of as a very low income scenario where they're getting by, but they're taking care of animals. They're helping the mission. So shout out to all you rescues out there. You do great work. Very fantastic to have you guys in our community, in the reptile group, as well as others outside of the reptile group. But okay, we're done with that one. We're done. Done. Okay. So what's new? What's going on with the reptile culture here? As far as I'm concerned here in the reptile room. Well, this reptile room is going to be solely devoted to tortoises and turtles. I'm going to be removing all of the lizards in the reptile room and moving them to my bedroom. Now, that doesn't mean that you're not going to be able to see those guys. You certainly will. I'm going to be climate controlling this room solely for the tortoises and turtles that are in here. And then that may not be optimal for like a bearded dragon if you have redfoots in here, because they have two completely different environments. So what we're going to do is we're going to take out this entire section here behind me. This is all going to go. And in place of this, we're going to be putting in a new tortoise enclosure here on the bottom. And that's going to be for those other new tortoises that I just acquired after they've kind of acclimated, because I'm betting on the two males fighting. In fact, I may not even put them together. I may just put one down here in the new enclosure after we build it, and then keep the other two in there. And that's fine. That's something that I anticipated when I acquired the animals, that this would be something I would have to do. And the lizards, I think, would be better for their health to be kind of in their own area. And I'm going to be venturing in 2023 into a new area of the hobby. Something I've never done before, and I'm excited about. And the reason why I'm waiting until 2023 to do so is because I have to do my research. I have to do my homework about these new animals that I'm going to be getting. And they're going to be using these enclosures right up here. This bigger 18 by 24 enclosure, and this smaller one, I think that's a 12 by 18 maybe enclosure there. But these two enclosures are going to be the focal point of the new animals I'm getting in 2023. Those are going to be dart frogs. I'm going to venture into the dart frog hobby. I'm so excited. I've been learning a little bit about them already. You know, I've never had an enclosure that required like the hydro balls on the bottom, and then the moss and the leaf litter, and the springtails is going to be a full bioactive enclosure. I'm really excited to kind of dive into this in 2023. It's something that I'm going to be taking my time on. It's something I'm going to be doing all my research on. It's going to be something that's going to be amazing when it's done. Again, those were going to be in the bedroom as well, on the reptile wall. And as you can see, I'm getting pretty hot here. The video's been kind of going kind of long here. I think we're going to call it a day. I think that's it. So.